Good afternoon. My name is Seth. Undergraduate Associate Chair. To the commencement ceremony for the Astrophysical and Planetary Sciences Department graduating class of spring 2023. First, I have one housekeeping announcement. For those of you who are unfamiliar with our wonderful planetarium, the emergency exits are the doors you came in on, and on the opposite side of the theater. But one word of warning, if you go out of here in the dark, do not head straight towards the exit signs. They are over a wall. So take one step to the left. To the right, one step to the right. It's all relative. But seriously, to our graduates, you have completed a rigorous course of study in our department. Hopefully, you have grown as scholars, scientists, and more broadly, as humans. But before we give you your fake diplomas, you see, only the university can actually has the power to truly grant you your degree. I have one last quiz for you. You all brought your clickers, right? I guess we can do it the old-fashioned way. So, raise your hand if you completed the planetary sequence, learning more about planets, moons, and rings than you ever thought possible. Okay. Completed the astrophysics sequence, which we lovingly refer to as Starfleet Academy. Decided you had such a thirst for astronomy, or a glutton for punishment, that you took both sequences. Speaking of Star Trek, how many of you have had the infamous Star Wars versus Star Trek debate? Or explained to a friend the scientific inaccuracies of a sci-fi movie? Spent at least one late night at Summers Bausch Observatory fighting with telescope issues, uncooperative weather, freezing telescopes, and perhaps more telescope issues? Worked as an LA, a grader, a tutor, a mentor, or all-around astro knowledge purveyor and helped your fellow students learn a concept, only to realize you weren't quite sure of it yourself. Came home from a break to excitedly regale your family and friends about the latest astronomical tidbit you had learned, or some upcoming astronomical event. Saying things like, sure, it's freezing cold and it's 3 a.m., but you really have to go outside to see this lunar eclipse. Learned the in and outs of the confusing labyrinth that is Dwayne physics, and figured out which door at 2 a.m. would get you where you needed to go. Did research with a faculty member, postdoc, grad student, or other researcher, and learned that being an astronomer isn't standing outside soaking up the beauty of the universe, but rather sitting inside, staring at a computer screen, trying to figure out why your code doesn't work. Anything I've missed about the experience, or does that pretty much sum it up? No tests. You've completed a truly cosmic journey. You've learned from everything from subatomic particles created in the first instance of the universe to the web of dark matter spread across billions of light years. You've embraced the discomfort of the unknown, realizing that the boundary of human understanding are only temporary, and in science we seek to challenge hypotheses and are always open to revising our ideas based on new evidence. And perhaps the most important skill that you've gained is that you've learned how to think critically and scientifically. You've learned how to approach difficult problems and how to learn on your own. Your skills prepare you to take on the world, whether it be research or teaching, science policy, science journalism, or whatever you find yourself doing. And beyond these skills, as part of your liberal arts education here in the College of Arts and Sciences, you have gained perspective and insight into humanity's place in the universe. Astronomy is an age-old human endeavor, a field that touches us all. From now on, when you tell people that you are an astronomer, you will see the wonder in their eyes as they ask about the latest JWST image and what it really means. Because if nothing else, you now join the ranks of astronomy ambassadors unleashed on the world. Do us proud, and congratulations. I would now like to introduce two of our graduating undergraduate students, Joe Zator and Eris Orion. They will take us on a journey through the stars and time and space and tell us about a few of the things that they have been learning during their time in APS. Joe?
Thank you, Seth. Appreciate the introduction. And I'd also like to start by saying a quick thank you, of course, to Eris in the back in our navigation cockpit, as they have the monumental task of controlling everything that we see and hear during this live show up here in the theater. I'd also like to point out, Seth had mentioned the emergency exits, but also in just a little bit, we will be flying around the universe a little bit. So if you do become a little queasy, dizzy, or something like that, just remind yourself that we're not actually flying through space. We are solidly here on ground, and maybe just close your eyes or put your head down, and you should have your body reset pretty quickly. So once again, welcome to the distinguished faculty, to the family and friends of all the students, and most importantly, of course, to the fellow graduates. It's your day. It's a day to celebrate, look back on what we've accomplished in these last few years. It's not just a degree that you now hold, or will hold a fake degree very shortly, but also the relationships that you've built, the experiences you've had, and the knowledge and the wisdom that you've gained while working diligently towards a worthy goal. You fought through many hardships, a global pandemic that saw the world grind to a halt, the often difficult experience of languishing in Zoom room limbo for a few semesters. Or once in-person classes did resume, you had that sinking feeling when you would show up to a lecture in Duane and only realize that you actually have a class in Fisk this week, all the way on the other side of campus and have to run over. But we all did get through these difficulties, and we're able to share in countless good times as we learned how to go about the noble pursuit of science. So many fascinating steps in astronomy, astrophysics, and planetary science have been made during our time here. The first ever picture of a black hole was announced, M87. A full 55 million light years away, a supermassive black hole in the center of an elliptical galaxy. It's found from our perspective in the constellation of Virgo, and we look out at all across the universe in different constellations in different areas to find what we can. Our knowledge of neighboring planets increased greatly, with landers, rovers, and even helicopters on other planetary surfaces, like the Mars 2020 rover here, called Perseverance, and its companion helicopter Ingenuity. They show us where science and engineering can take us. Even something as simple as how many moons our solar system has changed over the last couple years in our time here. In fact, when I first started presenting here at Fisk a few years ago, Jupiter had the most moons, and then with better observations over the course of a year or two, we ended up having Saturn be the kind of temporary king with the most moons, the most candidate moons. Then, just in the past year, a smattering of new moons were found around Jupiter, and that now brings the crown back to our solar system's most massive planet, now with over 90 moons around Jupiter. But perhaps the biggest changes come from the promise for even more new and exciting science in the years to come, from the James Webb Space Telescope. In many ways, it's barely even gotten going, and already has brought to humanity a new understanding of our place in the universe. From beautiful views of stellar nurseries, like the Corona Nebula image, where new stars are born and form, new planetary systems over millions of years, as immense clouds of gas and dust collapse in and swirl together. All the way to galaxies. They're locked in a cosmic dance to the tune of gravity. They're swirling, merging over billions of years, as you can see here in this image of Stephan's quintet. And images like this help us to understand the evolution of the cosmos and give us a preview of our Milky Way galaxy and its eventual merger with our neighboring Andromeda galaxy in 5 billion years or so. Got a little time. And we go all the way back to view some of the most distant galaxies, where we peer back in time to see parts of our universe as it was billions of years before humans arrived on the scene, with scenes like this from James Webb in a deep field image. The changes we've seen during our time here are one link in the journey. Not just our individual journeys, but our collective journey as scientists and as curious humans. What's in store over the coming years is even more exciting, not just because of what will come from instruments like JWST, and so many other new groundbreaking space missions that are imminent. But because each of your journeys as graduates will take you in directions that you cannot even imagine as you go forth from this special place. And I truly do believe that this is a special place. This is actually now the 4th graduation that I've been in over the past 20 years or so. And I can, without reservation, say that this is the only one of those graduations that has truly mattered to me. Even when I finished a master's degree back in Pennsylvania, I didn't even care about attending the graduation ceremonies or any of the events that were going on, but here, CU is different. Here, this planetarium is different. And because of so many of you that are in this room today, the Astrophysical and Planetary Sciences Department is different. This special couple of years together that we've had here together is coming to a close, but it's only one step in everyone's journey. So on that note, let's take a quick journey through the cosmos. Help us to remind ourselves our place in the universe and why we have spent so many years studying its mysteries and its grandeur. So we will leave Earth in just a moment, and our pilot, Eris, will take us on a little journey. We'll start here with our little blue marble, seeing it from the perspective that few humans have had the pleasure of seeing it from. But that is set to change as we head to the moon again with the Artemis missions. And many graduates here will support that mission in so many different ways as humanity establishes a permanent presence on the moon and heads toward Mars. See the orbits of our many planets in our solar system, the terrestrial planets, the Jovian planets, head out past the asteroid belt and the Kuiper belt. And as we leave our pale blue dot and our entire solar system behind, we enter a field of hundreds of billions of stars in our galaxy. And I will note too, everything we see that during this flight that Eris is taking us on is real data coming from real observations from fellow scientists. Slightly highlighted sphere of stars that we see there is the extent of what we can see with our human eyes, as we eventually come out to see a view of our entire home galaxy, the Milky Way, stretching 100,000 light years across, bound together by dark matter with a supermassive black hole in the center, called Sagittarius A star. As we move further out, breaking the laws of physics and going faster than the speed of light, we see our local group of nearby galaxies and move on to our Virgo supercluster, of which we are a part. We come through more galaxies, complete from the Tully survey. And at this scale, each dot of light you see is an entire galaxy containing hundreds of billions of stars. Countless worlds. As we move into the data set called 2MASS, the slight colors represent the density of galaxy clusters. Part of the web of hundreds of billions of galaxies that we will see out there. And finally, we'll begin to move through the Sloan Digital Sky Survey galaxies and the QSO dataset, where the large-scale structure of the universe and the cosmic web can be shown. We arrive at the backdrop of the Planck scale, the CMB. And now as we have arrived here back as far as we can go, where we see this baby picture of the universe that we call the cosmic microwave background, an image of what would coalesce into everything that we see in our universe, I'd like to leave you with the written words of Carl Sagan as he provided a vision of the human future in space in his 1994 book. In this chapter, he describes how science is not just something we do, but a way to think about our world, a system to guide us on life's journey and move our civilization forward. So he writes, "The significance of our lives on our fragile planet is then determined only by our own wisdom and courage. We are the custodians of life's meaning. We long for a parent to care for us, to forgive our errors, and to save us from childish mistakes. But knowledge is preferable to ignorance. Better by far to embrace the hard truth than a reassuring fable. If we crave some cosmic purpose, then let us find ourselves a worthy goal." So I invite everyone here to continue throughout your lives to keep looking up at the beauty of the universe. And I want to say thank you once again, and congratulations to all graduates.
Thank you, Joe and Eris. I'd now like to call up another of our graduating students, Jackson Avery, to talk about their experience.
Thank you, Seth. I'm going to take this off to put my face the entire time. I also want to say thank you to everyone here in this amazing planetarium today for celebrating our achievements with us. It is my honor to stand here and deliver this address for this incredible student body that I am so lucky to be a part of. My name is Jackson Avery, and as is true for my graduating peers, today marks the end of our journeys as undergraduate students here at CU. And it feels strange to say that. Of course, I'm graduating here today with my bachelor's in astronomy and astrophysics, but also with 2 minors in space and education, as well as a certificate in STEM education. As we reflect over the past few years, I want to address a topic that is not only important to me, but I'm sure many of us have experienced in our time here for our academic journey, that being imposter syndrome. The path that I followed over my time at CU was unexpected. 5 years ago, I applied to CU intending to major in graphic design. While I enjoyed the idea of science, I didn't see myself as someone who could be a real scientist. My second week at CU, I was in a math class that I didn't particularly enjoy, and I went to see a temporary advisor to explore some of my other options. With this advisor, they helped me drop this class, but not before realizing that this math class was a co-rec for several of my other courses, of which I was also automatically dropped out, all of which were waitlisted and instantly filled in. I find myself now at 3 credit hours, and no longer being a full-time student status, I was concerned about my housing and financial situations. I began adding just about any class that was still open back into my schedule to reach that 12 credit hour threshold once again. And one of those classes was Blockworks. I quickly fell in love with space, and 1 year later, changed majors. Since then, I've grown strong interest within planetary formation, exoplanet observations, and most importantly, astronomy education. I've had the opportunity to work as a learning assistant and a teaching assistant for many of our planetary science courses, as well as being a member of the FISC outreach team, and for those experiences, I'm incredibly grateful. As we look back over these past few years, there's one class and one moment that I always go back to. ASTR 1030 is Accelerated Intro to Astronomy. This is my first class as an official astro major. I was excited about this opportunity, but still heavily doubted myself. I was an artist, and now I'm trying to be an astrophysicist, this must be a mistake. That same semester, I failed my first ever test in Physics 1 and saw this as confirmation that I did not belong. I convinced myself I was not proud enough to be a real scientist. I set plans to transfer to UNC and to study American Sign Language instead, leading STEM and CU all together in the process. Now, of course, I'm standing here today, so something must have changed. I'm sure many of us graduating today remember when our 1030 instructor during one of our lectures asked us to raise our hand if we ever felt like we didn't belong in astrophysics. Slowly and nervously, I raised my hand and I looked around G130. As I looked around, I saw that most, if not all of us, had a hand raised, our TA and instructor included. In this moment, I no longer felt alone, but rather re-inspired to continue my studies in astronomy. I still do experience imposter syndrome from time to time today, but in these moments, I now look back upon that day and as a reminder to myself to push through those feelings of doubt. As students in a STEM field, known for its difficulty, we've all had and will continue to face great challenges that can make us feel like imposters. We may feel that we don't belong, or that we aren't smart enough to keep up with our peers. We may even feel that our successes are due to luck or chance, rather than our own hard work and dedication. But I'm here to remind you, as well as myself, that all of these feelings are normal and they do not define us. We are here today because we have earned our degrees through hard work, perseverance, and importantly, a shared passion and love for our universe. We should be very proud of these accomplishments. As we move forward in our careers, be that graduate school, industry, education, or one of other countless opportunities, let us not forget the importance of community and support. It is always okay to ask for help and to lean on those around us. Let us also remember to support and uplift one another, especially those who feel like they may not belong. Looking towards the future, let us also continue to challenge ourselves in our perceptions of what it means to be an astronomer. Let us celebrate the differences and uniqueness in each of our identities and use them to contribute to the advancement of our field through diversity, equity, and inclusion. May we take our experiences we have gained here and use them to make the world a better place. Congrats again, y'all. We did it.
And now the moment we've all been waiting for. I'd like to call up Professor Dave Brain to help me with handing out the undergraduate diplomas.
Okay, thank you. I think that Joe and Jackson are an incredibly tough act to follow, so I won't attempt that. I will instead get right into calling the names of our undergraduates of whom we are so proud. So there's some instructions that come along with the next 20 minutes of our lives, some for the audience and some for the graduates. Let's start with the graduates first. Hello. Oh, great. Okay, you're there. So we're going to ask you, Professor Hornstein said there was one more quiz. He lied. There's a pop quiz after the one more quiz, which is, are you able to stand along that wall in alphabetical order? Ready, set, go. Actually, not ready, set, go. I'm going to ask you to stand up, arrange yourselves in alphabetical order from A to Z along the wall here. When the time comes, I will call your name, and then you can come up to the stage. Professor Hornstein will hand you your diploma, but he will do it up here, so that pictures can be taken of the occasion. After that happens, there's a microphone here. You are welcome to use it to say a few words if you would like. Please. Sorry, you are welcome to use it. Oh, that's the wonder of a microphone. You are welcome to use it to say a few words if you would like. Do not feel obligated or required to do so. That is also fine, if you'd like the opportunity. Okay, everybody on the undergraduate bachelor side understand the instructions. Great, ready, set, go. While they're doing that, everyone, so that we're not staring at them trying to organize themselves again, you heard what the undergraduates have to do, and there are a few ground rules. Let's get the most controversial one out of the way, the one about applauding. Do it, please. Loud and long for your graduate. And please do it for every graduate that is graduating, whether or not they are yours. Number two, there's Professor Ornstein and your graduate will be here exchanging pleasantries and fake diplomas. You're welcome to come take a picture at that moment if you are able to get out from the middle of your row. Otherwise, we will have, I think, pictures as well. Did I miss anything else? One other thing, I did miss one other thing. Some of the graduates have graduation honors. They'll be graduating cum laude, magna cum laude, or summa cum laude. At many universities, this means you graduated with a certain GPA. Here at CU, it means that, but it means something more. Every student that I call with graduation honors has also completed what's called an honors thesis. They've spent sometimes a year and a half or 2 years working on original research with a scientist or faculty member here at the university. They have written a document describing their research and its results. Sometimes these documents are 20, 40, 50 pages long. They give an oral presentation of that work to a panel of 3 scientists, and then sometimes friends are in the room as well. And then they have a private question and answer session with the panel of 3 scientists who then recommend them for graduation honors. So when I call those 2 or 3 words, please understand the amount of work that went into those 2 or 3 words that they have achieved. Okay, everybody good with instructions? Okay, enough of me. Let's jump right in. You're second. Okay, great. I'm messing up already, so this bodes well. Off we go. All right, are you ready? I'm ready. Jackson Avery.
I've talked a lot already, so I'll keep this brief. I want to say thank you to my family, both those here in person and watching online. To my boyfriend Franklin for his all love and support, and to my advisor and great mentor, Zach Rhoda Thompson. Thank you.
Okay. Cole Alexander.
Of course, I want to thank my friends and family for all supporting me throughout my 4 years, my very long 4 years here. 2 people I really want to thank are Max Morgan and Ali Garskadden, who unfortunately were not able to be here today. But 2 of my best friends, they taught me what it's like to be a roommate, a friend, and most importantly, helped me pass physics too. So I wouldn't do it without them. Thank you.
Zasha Avery.
I feel obligated to just say something real quick since the other 2 did. Just want to say thank you to my family. I'm so happy that they're here today, and I'm just have them to thank for even graduating in general. So thank you so much, and I love you guys.
Robin Chowdhury.
Once again, I feel obligated to speak, but I'd like to thank my family, everybody for coming here for me, my friends, and especially my sister Palak. Thank you.
Aiden Cunningham.
All right. I'm not a big speech guy, but I just wanted to thank my family for coming out here. I really appreciate everyone being here. And a big shout out to my good friend Melissa Kane. This wasn't doable without her, so yeah.
Nina Dolachahi.
A lot of fans today. I want to give big thanks to my professors for being so patient and encouraging the last 4 years. I want to thank my family. Thank you so much. I don't think I would have done it without you guys' support. And thank you for not listening to me every time I would take an exam and think I failed out of college. So, screw you guys. Thank you.
Josh Friedman.
Wow. I 2 weeks ago when I sent out the emails saying, hey, you could say a few words, I thought of something really nice to say, and then I've just completely forgotten what that was. So thanks to my friends and family who are here, those of you who I'm also graduating with, who I know in the lineup there. I couldn't have done it without any of you. I wouldn't be here without any of you. Thank you very much.
Sydney Furman, summa cum laude.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to my friends and family who came out today, and to my advisor, David Malaspina, who gave me the incredible opportunity of working with data from Parker Solar Probe, the mission that touched the sun. It's just been absolutely incredible the past 4 years. Thank you so much.
Anna Johnson.
Thanks. Just want to shout out my dad. Thanks to him and the rest of my family for letting me geek out on space, even though they didn't understand it most of the time. Thanks to all my friends who helped me get through all of these classes. And thanks to all the professors who have been absolutely amazing teaching us and sharing their love of space with us and letting us continue that. So, thanks.
Leo Camgar.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to my family over there.
Melissa Kane.
Hi. I have a
lot of thanks to give, so I'm just going to say like one general thanks, and if you feel like it applies to you, then you can like take that and go. I'll thank two people specifically. My good friend Aiden Cunningham. I feel a little bit obligated to do that because he thanked me specifically. And Foolish Craig's, the coffee shop, for being close enough to Dwayne that I could get a coffee in the 10 minutes between ENM2 and Quantum.
Sean Kapla.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything either, but I'd like to thank my family and friends that are all here today, and a special thanks to Professor Hornstein. He didn't even know I was going to do this, but I didn't really love coding going into college, but my first class with him, he taught me how to really love it, and now that's what I'm going to be doing going forward, so thank you.
Olivia Kleinhaus.
I had a little thing written out on my phone, but I'm gonna cry. I'm sorry. I have always really loved the quote, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams," which is Eleanor Roosevelt. And I just think that encapsulates everyone here today, all of my peers. I know for myself, I've dreamed of being here practically my whole life, and like Jackson, I never really thought it was going to be real. So in 2020, in the middle of COVID, I transferred here from another university where I was actually studying business. And I'd always loved space, but I didn't really see it as a reality, and I didn't have the confidence to pursue it in college. So when I chose to transfer to CU, I had the mindset of I'm passionate enough about space that it's worth trying and failing out of than not trying at all. I didn't fail. Thanks. But I just feel really, really lucky to be able to attend CU. I don't really believe that there's another university like it. And to be able to have taken classes every day with classmates as incredible as these people, it's just been a dream come true. And all of the professors have been brilliant and compassionate and helped me get here. So thank you to everybody here today, my family and my friends and all the professors. Thank you.
Crying is allowed. Ivy Knudsen.
I too have a few thank yous to give, and I've got about a minute of name dropping, so bear with me here. I just want to say it's so surreal to feel as lucky as I do right now, being in my favorite building, surrounded by a community of my favorite people, getting a degree in my favorite subject. Jackson was definitely right. Imposter syndrome is very real. But by no means did I get here alone. So I wanted to take the opportunity to say some thank yous to my parents and my brother Fisher for being here, adding to their never-ending support for me. To my sister Olivia, my other brother Hutton, and my BFF ESA Alex for being the best hype man in the world. Any doubts I ever had about my ability to be here never made it past you guys, and you don't know what it means to me. I feel so lucky to have my family here with me today, including my grandparents and my aunt and my uncle. And a special thank you to my other family, the one that's been crafted over the last 4 years. My fellow students, as I know them, the physics survivors, the masters of the universe featuring Adam, Monday night dinner pals, my phys buddies, the gamers, black holes, and a bunch of other names that I've forgotten. Or as you all know them, Adam, Steph, Eris, Robin, Jackson, and Daniel. I just want to thank you all for being a part of my family over the last 4 years. I've had some of the best times and solved some of the worst problems with you guys. And I would not be here without you, and I love you all so much. And despite the Legally Blonde confidence on my cap, this indeed was very hard. So thank you to everyone here at CU and all the families, new and old, for getting us here. Go Buffs.
Kaylin Landry.
Okay, I wasn't going to say anything either, but now I feel like I have to. So thank you to my family and my friends, my boyfriend for the support. This was not an easy degree. Thank you to my unofficial mentor, Jimmy, for all of the really scary career conversations that came from those meetings. And thank you to everyone. This is awesome. And so, yeah. Woo.
Natalie Margaros.
So I wasn't going to say anything, and I wrote a whole thing, and then I threw it out, and then I wrote another one, and then I threw that one in too. So now I have to say something and come up with it on the spot. And I can barely see you guys. Hi. It's been a long time. I've been here for a long time. It's been really hard, but I'm not going to get sad about it. I'm not going to cry about it because it was a lot of work, and I did it, and you guys all did it, and we're awesome, and I'm just really excited to see what everyone does. Like, we can do anything, you know. We're going to be doing so many crazy things, and I hope that everyone just keeps in touch, and we all get to share it with each other, because this has been awesome. And this is so crazy. This is happening right now, and I'm crying. Okay, bye.
Christian Page Malden.
I just want to thank my friends and family for being here and supporting me throughout this whole journey. And thank goodness I passed Quantum and E&M, because otherwise this would have been really awkward right now. Thanks.
Sheila McCabe.
Ooh. So, I have been here forever, but I have a lot of thanks to give. Thank you to everyone here at Fisk, who has done so much for me. Thank you to my family who's supported me, especially my mom, who does too much to ever thank for me. Special thanks to my daughter for being my guiding light always. And a thank you to my late husband, Jacob, wherever you are in the stars. We did it. And I hope you guys all continue looking for the light.
Elena Opp.
Well, first thanks I want to give is to Seth Hornstein. Seth was so I'm a student athlete here, and he was the first person in the astronomy and astrophysics department that I got to meet, and it was the most exciting, conversation that I've ever had going into college. It just made me want to come to CU so much. I had no idea how incredible the program was until we met, and it was my decision. That was the decision when I decided to be an athlete here. I want to thank my family. I want to thank David Malaspina and Shu Wong and Impact for letting me, get the opportunity to work here. And this was hard, but this was amazing, and I'm so happy to get this.
Eris Orion.
Cool. So, I already tell my family I love them a lot, so thank you to my family. But I do not tell my friends that I love them a lot, especially since Ivy shouted us out specifically, so I should probably do the same. So, yeah, of course, shout out to Mass of the Universe, Black Holes. Oh my god, why am I blanking on all your names? I've known you for 4 years. Jesus Christ. You know who you are. And also to everyone else I've called gamers, that means you're basically my friends. I've called half of you that. So it's just a friendly term, I suppose. And then also shout out to Zach for being there when I cried 3 times in front of him. And also, I think I am contractually obliged to thank FIS Planetarium for changing my career path from finding the intersection between theoretical physics and mathematics, pure mathematics, and instead being oh, planetariums are cool, I think I'll drop all of physics. So while Ivy, Adam, and Daniel, and Robin were all stressed out, Steph and I were just coming in, watching them come out of the engineering center after those exams, okay, let's go get gelato and let's pat you on the back. You did a good job. We're cheering for you. So, yeah. Cool. Okay.
Daniel Percuoco Porras.
Thank you.
Hello. I wanted to thank my family for always being there for me through thick and thin, and I want to thank them for coming out from so far away. And I wanted to thank my friends in Astro who are all here, either with me graduating or in the audience. And I couldn't have done this without you guys, even outside of the Astro classes. So thank you so much, and we did it.
Kendall Ruggles Delgado.
Yeah, obviously I just want to thank my family, my mom especially, my dad, my brother a lot, my aunt and uncle for giving me a place to stay, my grandma for inspiring me to do math, physics stuff, and of course my friends, those who are here and aren't, Logan, Jordan, Marshall, all the goats, and yeah, thank you.
Stephanie Schubert.
right. Well, thank you so much to my family for all their support, and I love you all so much. And my turn to name drop all my friends here: Adam, Ivy, Eris, Daniel, Robin, and Jackson. Thank you all for being fantastic, and also to all my professors for being wonderful, especially Zach for being super inspiring my first year. So, yeah.
Nikola Tanev.
I wanted to thank my family for driving my passion for the universe and our place here among the stars through countless arguments and debates we've had on long car trips and whatnot. I also wanted to acknowledge what Jackson said about imposter syndrome. It's very real. Throwback to freshman year in Dr. Zach Berta Thompson's astronomy class when I went to go turn in one of my midterm exams, and instead of putting it into the midterm pile, I put it into the scratch paper pile, which ended up being thrown away. And as you can imagine, that slightly hurt me. You know, I was like, am I going to graduate? I don't know if I can't turn in an exam. But here we are, and everything worked out. So thank you, everyone, and you guys.
Ethan Wexler.
I just want to land on one thing. I'm sure everybody up here would agree with it, is go outside, look up, and stay curious. Thank you guys all so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Joe Zader.
Well, you've already all heard from me, but I did want to at least say thank you to my family, my friends, friends who have become family. And I think as challenging as these last few years were, it's possibly been harder for them because kind of on a whim called an audible on a successful career and decided to move across the country and start over with sciences. So thank you so much for the support, especially my parents for years of support. Most importantly, my partner Marissa, who I could never enumerate enough about how everything she does. And so thank you, especially all the nights I would spend here on campus late at Fisk, the library, at SBO, all those different things. And then lastly, my 3-year-old daughter, Aurora, who's down there. She was born after my first year of classes here, so it really threw everything into disarray, and it's been a fun journey since. So, love y'all.
And Aurora is a great name for a child of an astronomy graduate. I just want to make clear to the rest of the graduates that's not required. Consider it. Okay, so this includes the undergraduate portion of the program, except for one final round of applause for our graduates. So we'll now move to the graduate portion of our program, and we have two students today who we are acknowledging for receiving their PhD in our program. So first I'd like to call Gilly Gilbert up to the stage. way this will work is I will say a few words, and then Gilly will be hooded, which is a very auspicious moment in the career of an academic, and then Gilly will say a few words. So I will go first. I was a member of Gilly's PhD thesis committee. I was also a professor that Gilly was assigned to in his first semester of graduate school to TA my course. And he TA'd Astronomy 1030, which many of the undergrads have called out today. It's the first course that you take in the major. And it's a course where students are often trying to figure out if this is the right path for them. So having the right TA in that course is crucial, and Gilly was the perfect TA for this class. The students loved him. He provided support, not only academic, but emotional and many other kinds of support throughout the semester. I often got the impression that the students would be just fine if I was not there at all, because they loved Gilly so much. As someone who's watched his career grow, I'll say a few words. I said before the undergraduate honors thesis process. Our graduate students go through that same process on larger scales twice in their academic career. Once to get their master's degree and progress to their PhD, and I was on Gilly's committee for that. Gilly will tell you about the research that he did. I don't want to steal his thunder or his light there and hint. But at his master's, his comprehensive exam, he did very well, and I asked him a question about his modeling work, and I said, do you really believe your model? And he, I'm paraphrasing here, he basically said, yes, I do believe my model. I'm like, oh boy, I don't know about this. A couple of years later, a few years later, he was receiving his PhD, and I asked the same question, but I disguised the question because I wasn't sure if he remembered it. And I basically said, do you believe your model? And here at the PhD stage, he gave the perfect answer. He said, no, I don't believe the model. The model is not the real world. The model is an approximation of the real world. And here are the things that the model told me that I do believe. And that's the moment in any theoretical scientist's career that they are ready to receive a PhD. And he gave the perfect answer. So I really have admired Gilly's trajectory, and I think he will go on to do great things. He'll tell you about, I hope he'll tell you a little bit about the things that he will do next. It's not like he's being knighted. He doesn't have to kneel or anything. Have to stand on tiptoes.
Thank you so much to all my friends and family who are here, both in person and virtually. It's incredibly meaningful to me. I wasn't going to write something down, but then I was so nervous I did. Some god-awful number of years ago, when I decided to switch from engineering to physics in undergrad in 2009 or so, 2013? I don't know, a long time ago. I decided to switch into physics, and it turns out that comes with it like an extra decade of schooling that you have to do. So this is me finishing 25th grade. I've been in school for 13 or 14 years. That's grad school for 13 or 14 years. Grad school and undergrad, sorry. Anyway, I've survived a lot of things during that time. Of course, the pandemic. I also had open heart surgery 2 years ago, so that was super intense. But I'm here. I'm really glad to be here. Thank you. And I just wanted to sort of thank everyone involved for all the opportunities that I've had while I've been here as a PhD student at CU. I had the opportunity to teach with Dave, Dr. Brain, and then he was also my advisor for many years after that, not a science advisor, but advisor academically and just sort of as a friend. And I ended up actually... Seth Hornstein over here also has been a little bit of a mentor for me and helped connect me in with this professional development program, which was really an excellent way to learn how to be a better teacher. Always appreciate that program. I've worked here at Fisk for many years, and also at the observatory, Summer Splash Observatory on top of the hill. And those were just such amazing opportunities. You know, the first day I got here, the first day of orientation, I went into this planetarium and I was like, I'm going to work here at some point. And then I did for like 6 years. So that was just super awesome. I'm really glad to have had that. I taught a class, one of the intro classes over the summer. It turns out those classes are 5 days a week for an hour and a half each day for a couple months. So that was super intense, but I loved teaching the students. And it was a class for non-majors as well. So we got to use like fire extinguishers and all these other like physics demonstration tools. It was really an amazing opportunity. I also have done research. That's like the main thing you're supposed to do, right, as a PhD student. I study the sun and the atmosphere of the sun, and it's kind of transparent, so it's kind of hard to study, and that's what I study. So that was fun. In terms of making a model, yeah, no, the model, I wrote that, so it's probably not correct in several ways. Definitely shouldn't trust that. But I did have the opportunity while working at LAST with my advisor, Dr. Stephen Cranmer, who isn't here today but will be here tomorrow. I had the opportunity to travel all over the world. He doesn't really like going to conferences, but I love going to conferences, so he sent me just to all kinds of things. The SHINE conference really was very formative for me. It's a great heliophysics conference at HEU as well. So that was really excellent, and all of these experiences prepared me to get a job as a postdoc. I now work at the Southwest Research Institute, which is based right here in Boulder. I never have to leave Boulder. Like, you know, they say you come here and you never leave. It got me. And I think I'm going to be there for at least 6 years if I want to get all my retirement money. So that's where I'm working right now, and it's really fun, and I get to like go and talk to people about space and write code, and that code is cool, and ChatGPT fixes the code for me. Now that's a really cool new thing. You used to have to fix code yourself. Now that's not anymore. So yeah, I guess I just wanted to conclude with like this has just been the most crazy 8 years of my life here at CU, becoming a PhD, becoming a doctor. I guess I'm a doctor. I don't get to do the I'm not a doctor joke anymore, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to reconfigure that thing in my life. But I'll just end again with incredible gratitude for my family who was able to come from all the way across the country, to my partner who just came to live with me from all the way across the country, and to my family online who's watching this, and everyone else who has helped me get to this point. I really, really appreciate it, and it's super fun to be a physicist. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, and now I would like to invite Jimmy Negus and his PhD advisor, Professor Julie Comerford, to the stage.
Thank you, Dave. First, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Jimmy's PhD thesis. His thesis focused on coronal emission lines in nearby galaxies. So there are lots of automated computer codes to find the big booming emission lines in galaxies, but none to find the coronal emission lines because they're weak, little, sneaky, hard to find emission lines. And so as a result, coronal emission lines are not well studied, even though they're really interesting as tracers of gas falling onto supermassive black holes. So that's where Jimmy came in, as he wrote his own customized code to detect these hidden little coronal emission lines in galaxies, and he found 71 nearby galaxies that have coronal emission lines. So I think it's fair to say that Jimmy has found more coronal emission lines than anyone on the planet at this point. And by finding all these lines, he found that there's more to them than we initially thought. Some of them do trace gas falling onto black holes, but some of them also seem to be associated with stars being born and with galaxies colliding with each other, which we didn't know before Jimmy did his thesis work. And so then Jimmy went through the competitive, arduous process of writing a proposal to use a telescope in space, the Chandra X-ray Observatory, to study some of these galaxies and learn more about them. His proposal was accepted, which is exceptionally impressive for a graduate student. And we're starting to get the data on those galaxies now, and it's already very interesting and exciting. So during Jimmy's time as a grad student at CU, he's left his fingerprints all over this campus. He has stood right here on the stage giving planetary presentations many times as the president of the Science Under the Dome series here at Fisk. He was also instrumental in the scale model solar system, which when you walk out the door today, take a look, the sun is right there, and you can follow the rest of the scale model solar system through the rest of campus. That's largely thanks to Jimmy. Great clap at every sentence about his accomplishments. Jimmy's also been an avid science writer, having his works published in magazines, and he's also authored 2 books, one about supernova and one about black holes. So Jimmy's enthusiasm for astrophysics research came out right when he accepted the job to come here to CU for grad school. Grad school starts in the fall. The first day is in the fall. But Jimmy asked me if he could just go ahead and start his research the summer before. So we did that, and he's been on an unstoppable trajectory ever since. And I'm so proud of all the work that you've done and all the growth you've made as a scientist in the last several years. And I should also mention some of Jimmy's adventures that he's had in grad school. He rode his motorcycle through Yellowstone and got stranded in Cody, Wyoming. He has been flying on a hot air balloon, and he went on a hike in the rainforest in Hawaii in the middle of the night. And we were all so worried about you. But he came back, and he's here. He's also the biggest NASA enthusiast, NASA nerd that I have ever met. You can tell from all the stickers on his laptop, all the patches on his coat. I expected there to be a patch on your robe today for NASA. So if anybody out there needs an astronaut, like Jimmy is the guy. He's grab him. He's the one. So after graduation, Jimmy will also be staying in Boulder, becoming a research scientist working on solar physics, which I feel is very fitting because his thesis was all about the coronal emission lines, and they got their name because they were first found in the corona of the sun. So he's come full circle now from the galaxies to now the sun. And it's been such an honor being your PhD advisor. I'm so excited for your next chapter, and it's my privilege now to hood you with a PhD hood.
I don't usually get nervous for these, but this is very personal for me. It's taken 15 years for this vision to be crystallized. 15 years since I first peered through an astronomical lens and felt that interconnectedness with the universe and had this far-fetched dream and vision that I could somehow be an astronomer. And the hardship that I've had to endure is not without noting. You know, while the universe is enthralling and there are pretty wonderful pictures of galaxies and massive black holes, there's also physics, there's E&M, there's quantum, and all of those wrecked me. You know, as an undergrad, I really struggled, finding study groups, not seeing any faces that looked like my own, looking for mentors and guidance that was purely absent. It was a pure struggle. But somewhere within the depth of my spirit, there was a fire that convinced me that I needed to continue on this journey. And I understood early that failure was simply a part of this journey. And applying to grad school, getting rejected twice, many would have thought, this just isn't for me. Clearly, I'm not wanted behind these doors. I couldn't accept that. I had this dream. And so I showed up going to colloquium as this unaffiliated, passionate, wanting to be a student, just meeting professors, talking about space, trying to convey my enthusiasm, anything to increase my odds. And finally, in 2017, I was admitted. And as a student, it wasn't easy either. Stalling on papers, getting rejected from 3 to 4 to 5 proposals, Again, not seeing many faces like my own. Wondering, is this the right place for me? Is this dream something that I should just release from my hands? But I found that fire, and I relied upon my mentors and the community and the vision of space and seeing something beyond myself, understanding that I am star stuff. And when I looked through those telescopes in grad school, feeling so close, not far, not small, but feeling big, feeling no separation with the cosmos. That's what fueled me through all of those failures. And Julie has been a huge part of that. You know, as a first-year grad student, not knowing much science, just wanting to study high-energy processes, wanting to learn about active galaxies and black holes, she equipped me with the resources and the tools and the flexibility and the mentorship to get through. And Dr. Jeff Bennett, who's not here today, who's a textbook author, who convinced me that I had value beyond what I thought of myself in spite of my failures. I had value. I belonged in this place, and that I could do it. And so for those instances where I wanted to quit, I'm done. I'll just go back to what I was doing. This is too hard. I've got a master's. Find a plan B. His voice in my head saying, Jimmy, how's that astronaut app? Whoa, someone actually believes in me that I can do this. It's not just a lone dream. There are people out there that can see this vision for me. That's what made the hardship, the failures, the rejections, feeling like an outcast. That's what made me find the will to get through. I'd also like to thank my mother and grandmother. Represent, right. My Malian roots. You know, my mom didn't come to this country until she was 22 from Bamako, Mali. You know, she didn't have the fancy credentials or the degrees. We didn't have family members that had PhDs or mentors that could guide me through the science, through the perils of the journey of an undergraduate or a graduate degree. But she had a belief in me. And she encouraged me. Keep your head up. Keep going. There's going to be fog banks. When the fog banks come, you don't park, you don't pull off. Sometimes you have to just keep going and have faith that there's going to be sun. So I want to thank my mother and grandmother dearly for that. I also want to thank my brother for the discipline he's taught me. Don't rush. You know, before grad school, I rush everything, you know. Trying to put a blender together. I'm just you know, throwing it together. Why is this breaking? Just the art of taking your time, being methodical. I thank you for that. I also want to thank my partner Darian for challenging me to find my authentic self. You know, it's very easy in environments that don't reflect yourself to wear a mask and to fit the part. And she's really convinced me that it's okay to be myself and that I can be accepted as Jimmy Negus. So thank you for that. And then my boy Jacob, who's coming from Chicago. I want to thank Jacob for fueling the fire too, and for really propelling me to go in those dark times. And then finally, I want to thank my sister, Damie, who's coming from San Diego, and Damie, who's actually from the Philippines. You know, I really find a lot of inspiration in you and seeing you coming from a different country, showing up in STEM and kicking ass. I'm really proud of you, and thank you for your encouragement. And then, you know, finally, Fisk Planetarium. This has been my sanctuary for the past 6 years. When the outside world feels threatening, or I have zero self-esteem, or my research has gone down the tank, I come to Fisk, I see Tito or John or Carla, and just instantly I know that I'm in a safe place. I'm in a place of science and communication and outreach. And I think that played a huge part in ensuring my passions remained alive during some of those darkest days. So thank Fisk for having us here. And so thank you all for being here today. It's really a wonderful day. 15 years to have this dream. You know, really, if you have a dream, just stick with it. You know, there are going to be failures, but that passion will drive you. Just keep going. Thank you.
So again, I want to add my congratulations to our newest Dr. Gilly, Dr. Negus. So all of our students, whether they are PhD students or undergraduate students, those who are just joining us in the department, taking the class for once just to see what space is like, we have an awesome opportunity to share the universe with those students, and now we proudly send them off into the universe itself to do great things. So once again, I want to add my congratulations to the entire APS class of 2023. So a few final housekeeping announcements. Normally, we would do our procession out of the planetarium and proceed straight outside where we have the wonderful Flatirons Mountains as a backdrop for our graduation photos. That's not going to work today. So instead, we're going to do our graduation photos inside here. So I'd ask you to give us one last moment. I'd like all the graduates to come up to the very front here, and we'll do one group photo. Faculty, grad students, undergrads, all at once. We can have the house lights up, please.
Wait, let's kneel.
this is a little awkward, but students, if you'd like to show your family and friends around SBO, we will be opening the observatory immediately following the ceremony until about 4 p.m. today. With that, I would like to invite everyone to join us in the lobby for our reception. But if you would please, Eris has to go run to cue up the recessional music. And we somehow have to figure out how to get out of here in some order, so it's that way.
Anyone in a robe will have it.
Anybody in a robe, give us to the count of 3.